Formally, we will take a date where the president will come and I'll show him around the State House. But today is not for that.
Towards a smooth transition, President Jonathan and President-elect again meet at the presidential villa, Abuja.
In securing the law-abiding, we shall also not hesitate to deploy our potent assets to deal firmly and decisively with deviants.
Acting Inspector General of Police reads Riot Act as 3 states hold supplementary elections Saturday. Plus, United States government moves to stop circulation of fake anti-malaria drugs, promises $10,000 rewards on whistleblowers. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on the Network News Tonight with me, Rhoda Obo. First, President Goodluck Jonathan again this afternoon held talks with the incoming President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa, Abuja, as the two leaders continue consultation ahead of the inauguration. State House correspondent Segun Lawole reports.
It is the second visit to the presidential villa by General Muhammadu Buhari after the general elections that gave him the victory as the incoming president. The two leaders, who had discussions behind closed doors at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, came out about 30 minutes after into the waiting hands of curious State House press corps. When asked about the subject of discourse by the two leaders, President Jonathan reacts.
Excellency, sir, we have nothing to tell you today. Formally, we will take a date where the president will come and I will show him around the State House. But today is not for that. Today is for continuing with our conversation. So we don't need to worry the president. You don't need to also worry the president. You have to.
How fruitful was the conversation? Just one of those discussions, sir.
But you see that we are smiling. So
it was a fruitful one, sir.
Yes.
What are you discussing, sir?
I will not tell you.
Well, General,
but for the interest of the country.
President-elect, any just a sentence?
The president said, "Oh."
The two leaders are optimistic that the transition will be fruitful as discussions continued ahead of the inauguration. General Buhari was accompanied to the presidential villa by the party's national chairman, John Oyegun, and General Abdurrahman Dambazao. In the State House, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, has appealed to Nigeria's president-elect, Muhammadu Buhari, not to only consider the people of Anambra State and the Southeast in political appointments, but also ensure more federal presence in the area. Governor Willie Obiano made the appeal when he paid a congratulatory visit to the president-elect. Correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
The Anambra State governor, who met the president-elect behind closed doors, made a case for the completion of the ongoing Second Niger Bridge project. Irrespective of party differences, Obiano said he will accord full support to the incoming administration.
I'm also here to reassure him that Anambra and the Southeast will support him. Also did mention requests in the area of appointments for the Anambra and, of course, people from the Southeast. Therefore, I'm pleading that he also considers people from the other parties so that we can all embrace the change.
When asked whether he will join the bandwagon, the Anambra State governor has this to say.
I will remain with APCA, and work very closely with the president.
He was accompanied by top members of his government. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And also, the Chairman, Advisory Council of Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation and former President Court of Appeal, Justice Maman Nasiru, has called on the President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari and other elected office holders to govern with fairness, equity and justice, devoid of sentiments. He gave the advice at a news conference in Kaduna State. Austin Ayebe reports.
Of the Sir Ahmadu Bello Foundation is to re-echo the virtues of social welfare and the unity of the country which he lived for.
The chairman of the Advisory Council of the Foundation, Justice Mamun Nasru, said the national elections conducted in the country is one of the best in the history of Nigeria. But Nigerians must team up with the elected to surmount issues of corruption, insecurity, and poor socio-economic indices in the country.
From Mr. President down to the lowest level of election, all have immediate greater responsibility to help build this nation.
He advised that the incoming government must promote the unity of the country, be fair to all, and stick to the rule of law. Other areas of focus, he said, should be on agriculture, education, healthcare, as well as reconstruction and development of northeastern states devastated by the Boko Haram insurgency. Other advisory council members call on those elected to collectively have unity of purpose in serving the people.
Insecurity, which you all know, and poverty associated with unemployment, which you all know, are expectations of Nigerians.
Nigeria, after all said and done, will come out stronger and more united, virile, where every citizen of this country will be proud to be called a Nigeria.
To stem the tide of insecurity in the country, the foundation appealed to traditional rulers to be more vigilant. In Kaduna, Austin Anyebe, NT News.
Former Federal Commissioner for Information, Chief Edwin Clark, has emphasized the imperative for an incoming administration that will be supported for peace and unity in the country. He said this during a chat with journalists in Abuja. Correspondent Ifeanyi Izumba reports.
Chief Clark, who said the problem with Nigeria is ethnicity and religion, which the new government must address with seriousness to achieve harmony in the country, stressed that elections are over and Nigerians have accepted the outcome. Therefore, a conducive environment should be created for all.
Let us build one country together. This country belongs to all of us. The job of building Nigeria is very enormous. One man cannot do it. No conspiracy will help anybody to build up Nigeria. We must show love for one another. We must be our brother's keeper. Have respect for one another.
Chief Edwin Clark advised Nigerians to rally round the government towards a peaceful transition come 29th May 2015 handover date. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Izumba, NT News.
Nigeria's President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari has formally received Suleiman Hashimu, the man who says he trekked from Lagos to Abuja in fulfillment of his promise to do so if the general won the 2015 presidential elections. Correspondent Ismail Musa covered the brief reception at the Buhari Campaign Organization office.
33-year-old Suleiman, the president-elect, commended Nigerians who supported and encouraged him along the Lagos-Abuja route. Suleiman Hashimu, who hails from Katsina State and resides in Ibadan, claimed to have spent 18 days trekking from Lagos to Abuja.
I left Lagos because I made a promise between me and my God to fulfill my promise. And I think right from Ilorin, from Kwara State, I not walk 5 kilometers alone. I always work with people because people do volunteer and send me off to the next village.
He first arrived Abuja amidst fanfare on the 21st of this month. Suleiman later presented a document containing remarks from members of the communities along the Lagos-Abuja route to Mr. President-elect. Similarly, the President-elect has met some APC members of the 7th National Assembly.
Our decision to meet with you is to congratulate you formally as members of the 7th session of the House of Representatives. I have come to reassure you of our continuing willingness, both those who were successful in the elections and those who were not, that will remain faithful party members.
In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
In the meantime, Acting Inspector General of Police Solomon Arashe has read the Riot Act against perpetrators of violence during elections, describing his predecessor, Suleiman Abba, as an icon that will always be celebrated. Bonaventure Wodo has details.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, has said the police will work closely with INEC and other strategic stakeholders to ensure hitch-free exercise in the supplementary elections holding in Imo, Abia, and Taraba states.
To the unrepentant felons that may want to put our common will to test, therefore, the message is being relayed here loud and clear that in securing the law-abiding, we shall also not hesitate to deploy our potent assets to deal firmly and decisively with deviants. Perpetrators will be identified, isolated, and brought to deserve justice to act as a deterrent.
He said all the Assistant Inspectors General of Police and Commissioners of Police involved in the election will be empowered enough to ensure the success of police operation. But officers involved must be prepared to account for their action during the exercise. In Abuja, Bonaventure Mudo, NTA News.
And ahead of the supplementary elections tomorrow, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arashe, has ordered restriction on vehicular movements in local government areas of Abia, Delta, Imo, Kogi, and Taraba states where supplementary elections are scheduled to take place on Saturday, the 25th of April 2015, between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Ambulances, fire service trucks, and others on essential duties will not be affected by the order, as travelers who intend to ply roads within those hours are advised to take alternate routes. Government officials and political office holders have also been warned to avoid going to polling units with uniformed orderlies or aides, and persons with no business voting should stay 300 meters off polling units. The Police High Command has put adequate security measures in place by the deployment of senior officers to supervise elections in Abia, Imo, and Taraba State. INEC has posted 3 national commissioners and 3 additional resident electoral commissioners to Imo State for tomorrow's supplementary elections. Also, a Deputy Inspector General of Police has been drafted to the state to beef up security during the elections. Charles Ohehe has a review on the preparedness of stakeholders in the supplementary exercise.
The resident electoral commissioner in Imo State, Dr. Gabriel Ada, while expressing satisfaction with the preparations and strategies being put in place, said elections will be conducted in 259 polling units across 23 local government areas of the state. He said INEC will ensure free elections, adding that materials required for the election are already in place.
We are really through with ascertaining those areas that will do, first of all, governor supplementary elections. And then you also know that we declared in some state constituencies too as inconclusive. We are going to conduct supplementary elections in some state constituencies.
On security arrangements for the exercise, the State Police Commissioner, Oscar Evaka Okun, assured residents of the state of adequate security protection, adding that security personnel will be deployed to ensure that voting materials are protected. This view was corroborated by the State Commandant, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Dr. Audi Abubakar.
The 256 polling unit booths we are having, we are going to have minimum of 10 policemen there, and we are going to, in the collation centers, where we know that is very vulnerable, we are going to have minimum of 40 policemen.
Politicians should be able to be everywhere. Should be able to show that politics is not supposed to be a do or die affair.
INEC has fixed community election for this Saturday because voting was inconclusive in some local government area of the state. In Owerri, Charles Ohehe, NTA News.
Still staying with the supplementary elections in Taraba, Abia and Imo, the Federal Road Safety Corps has cautioned motorists in those areas to drive with care to ensure safety. The Corps Marshal of the FRSC, Boboye Oyeyemi, stated this during the quarterly review of activities of the Corps in Abuja. Aliyu Kabiru reports.
This is the second quarter review of the FRSC, comprising zonal commanding officers and sector commanders from across the country. It is meant to discuss the challenges of the Corps and chart a way forward for improved service delivery. The Corps Marshal said FRSC is strengthening collaboration with other stakeholders to ensure accident-free roads, particularly with the supplementary elections.
NDLEA will be partnering with them
and host of others. So it's for us to strengthen the interagency cooperation. And once we do that, we need the Justice Ministry for prosecution of offenders, the magistrate courts. We need the approval of the Chief Judge. So all over, all the critical stakeholders, their support, they must continue to sustain that cooperation with them.
He called on motorists to strictly adhere to traffic rules and regulations, adding that the CO will soon embark on the verification of driver's license as well as number plates and vehicle registration. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
As the 2015 elections come to an end, disputes over the outcome is expected to shift to election tribunals already established across the country. Addressing the issue on Good Morning Nigeria today, legal experts stressed that the tribunal will be expected to maintain a high standard. Oyeyemi Ajayi has more details.
Produces a winner and loser or losers. As the winner rejoices, those at the losing end head to the tribunals. Guests on the program say petitioners are expected to file their petitions before the tribunals within 21 days after the final results have been announced in compliance with the Electoral Act. They also spoke on the requirements for proof of allegations of electoral malpractices before the tribunals.
The burden of proof essentially is on the petitioner, who first of all has to discharge it by bringing credible and cogent evidence to support his petition. In other words, he's saying the election did not meet the minimum standards as required under the Electoral Act. In other words, that the election was rigged, or the respondent is not qualified for the election, or he was excluded on any of those grounds that will necessitate the filing of an election petition.
Now, the election tribunal system is a specialist court, as it were. It is not a normal court where you can try everything under the sun. So it is important that they are reminded that it must be guided by what is contained in the Electoral Act as affects election petitions.
The legal experts also address the issues of delays in the legal process.
When we are talking of time limit, by the time you start going to some extraneous issues, whether he is married to this or this is what did you eat this morning, you will find out that many times, time must have been wasted. That's why you have to go straight to the issue, you have to go straight to the point and educate and determine the case at it is, so that we can move forward.
It is now quite relieving that the Electoral Act itself makes it mandatory on INEC and the secretary to the tribunal to ensure that they get these materials within a very short period for any petitioner to access and make his case filed in court.
The guest re-emphasized that the judges should adhere strictly to the rules and not be carried away by sentiments for justice to be transparently delivered. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Now, building strong institutions far above personalities is the prerequisite to advancing the march towards achieving stable democracy. Professor Atahiru Jega, Chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission, and Dr. Padin Joko, former University Don and public commentator, are unanimous on this view as guests on NTA's network current affairs program, Moments for Thought.
That third world countries like Nigeria face is the challenge of weak institutions. And we just have to tackle that and ensure that our institutions are well developed and are strong enough to be sustainable and to drive change, rather than institutions that are just there for individuals to come and drive change within them.
The challenge we have now, which we must pose to the Commission, is that there must be, 1, sustainability, 2, improvement.
My Moment for Thought comes up at 11 tonight on the network service of the NTA. House Minority Whip explains Parliament's position on alteration of the Constitution. Details after the break.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. We generate
Generation D with it flex, with it package, correct. When I touch my phone, I connect. Discounted, all y'all collect. We bounce discounts, you name it. Free data, you name it. Free SMS, so yes. Discounted, bounce to bounce rates. Now doesn't it sound great? Discounted, bounce to bounce rates. Whether WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, it's all about sharing for less. With all of my favorite features, yeah, bring it back again. Hashtagging what's happening. Harder to bounce, further we go. Bigger to bounce, further we glow.
Bounce to the upside of life. Dial *170*4# and get 15 megabytes free data on every recharge. Unlimited free SMS. 11 kobo per second discounted rate on Bounce to Bounce and Campus Zone. Or get 200% bonus on every recharge over 500 naira. Bounce to the upside of life.
At 10, Fumi wanted to be a chemist. At 15, an engineer. At 17, she was accepted into a prestigious university, followed by tragedy. Her father died. Yet, at 21, she still graduated top of her class. Choose life. Book a plan for the ones you love and keep the music playing long after you're gone. Mansard Insurance, for life and living.
Chioma, I bet you can touch your nose with your thumb.
A nose?
It's the same with your toilet. There are many places in your toilet that detergents cannot clean. That is why the new Harpic 5 times complete gives you 5 times better cleaning than detergent from the rim all the way to the U-bend, making your toilet completely clean. With Harpic 5 times complete, you will definitely reach all the hard-to-clean places in your toilet.
Harpic Power Plus. Buy now for only 350 naira.
Introducing Smart Connect, where get plenty awoof to allow you talk, text, and browse nyafu for tiny money. Say you know say with just 200 naira recharge card, Airtel they serve me with 200% bonus to yarn more with any network.
Now you not call me your fiance.
Relax. In fact, I don't buy your own Airtel SIM every day. As correct vessel, anytime I recharge 200 naira and above, Smart Connect they serve me with free internet to browse. If you want to make your family follow you enjoy, buy your 4-in-1 family pack for the price of one.
Oh baby. This girl too, na family and friends.
No carry last to buy your Airtel SIM today.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hello, my name is Professor Manisi Anegonon. Last year, when we in AfriHub decided to undertake to be a part of the graduate internship scheme, we were very, very certain that that program was good for us. Today, we have taken in 25 graduate interns in different disciplines. Signing up for the GIS has been of tremendous value to AfriHub. I urge all employers to be a part of this great program. It is a program that really assures that we are keen into our corporate social responsibility.
To join the scheme, register and take graduates to work for you while government pays them. For more information, visit the website. The Graduate Internship Scheme is set up to create jobs for Nigerian graduates.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the network news on NTA. The House Committee on Education has called for equal access and opportunity to all Nigerians who are eligible for scholarship programs. The committee chairman and members made the call at a legislative hearing at the National Assembly. And House Minority Whip Samson Osagi explains the Parliament's position on the alteration of the Constitution. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Okafor reports on this and efforts by the House Committee on Environment to strengthen environmental laws.
The meeting, convened by the House Committee on Education with stakeholders, is informed by what the lawmakers described as complaints on the lopsidedness in the selection process for the Presidential Special Scholarship Scheme for Innovation and Development.
At the end of the day, Nigerians will know for better that yes, this exercise was without any malice or prejudice for whatever.
And the criteria, if you say it's unfair, then we can look at it. But that it deliberately put in place to get somebody disadvantaged, I will not be party to that.
In another development, House Minority Whip Samson Osagi, while reacting to refusal of the President to assent to the fourth alteration of the Constitution, explained the position of Parliament, adding that some amendments were made as a way out for bills which outlive the mandated 30 days required by the Constitution for the President to withhold or assent to the bill.
Until a judgment is given in the matter, the National Assembly cannot be hamstrung from performing its functions.
The next government coming in, not speaking for them, will definitely pick the same document, and if there are issues, we'll be hearing that in due course.
Meanwhile, Nigeria is in the forefront to enhance legislation on environment as the House Committee on Environment and stakeholders seek attainment of global standards in environmental laws. Experts from various sectors of the economy proffered ideas on the way forward. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
In the meantime, the federal government has signed agreements with Japan and the European Union to provide equipment and support for disaster victims, as well as children and adolescents affected by insurgency in the northeast. The Minister of National Planning, Dr. Suleiman Abubakar, who signed both documents on behalf of Nigeria, said both projects are to improve the lives of Nigerians and make the nation safer for investment. Leah Katung Babatunde has details.
Over the years, Nigeria has experienced disasters arising from flooding, fire, epidemics, oil spillage, climate change, and now terrorism in the northeast. All segments of the society have been terribly affected, but children and women have been mostly vulnerable. Numerous communities have paid a huge price in socio-economic losses, and their capacity for recovery has been diminished by the absence of substantial institutional support. The Japanese government is stepping in to fill this gap by committing $4.5 million for the provision of disaster reduction equipment to monitor these activities before they occur and provide solutions to reduce their impact where they happen inevitably.
Japan would spare no effort in providing necessary assistance and cooperation in accordance with the guiding principles of ownership and partnership.
I want to employ the people and government of Japan to believe in Nigeria as a friend and continue to extend your hand of fellowship to us as you have been doing. Regardless of the government in power,
the Nigerian government also signed a €1.5 million grant with the European Union to support children and adolescents affected by the activities of insurgents in the northeastern part of the country.
Last year, we also came here and signed an MOU, peace and security for women in the northern part of this country.
This program actually will target about 45,000 children. Which is a lot and which is nothing compared with the needs.
This is part of the activities of UNICEF and other UN agencies in the Northeast. It is estimated that over 700,000 have been displaced by insurgents in the 3 states, and most of them are children who are in need of psychosociological support services. In Abuja, Leah Katung Babatunde, NTA News.
We turn our attention now to health. The United States government is supporting Nigeria in curbing the menace of fake anti-malaria medicine. To this effect, the United States ambassador to Nigeria, James Entwistle, announced the launch of Make a Difference hotline and a reward program that offers $10,000, approximately 2 million naira, for information concerning the illegal distribution of stolen and falsified anti-malaria medication in Nigeria. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah reports that the event is in commemoration of the World Malaria Day 2015.
In spite of the so many gains, the widespread prevalence of counterfeit and substandard medicines is said to be contributing to the alarmingly high number of malaria deaths and costs of healthcare in the country. The contributions from the U.S. President's Malaria Initiative through the USAID, which is also behind the cash award, is said to have dramatically improved coverage of key malaria control interventions in the country.
The people of Nigeria need to be vigilant in reporting incidents of stolen or counterfeit medicines to the relevant authorities. The U.S. government will continue to provide support to this key development objective.
I sincerely commend your kind gesture in this regard and welcome the new partnership in addressing the issue of counterfeit anti-malaria medicines, which is quite a challenge.
Before the advent of modern medicine, a lot of us used to use herbs to cure these diseases. Yet these herbs have not been documented nor protected because of the growing need of the use of modern medicine.
Individuals with information on the sales or manufacturing of fake anti-malaria are to call the toll-free hotline at 0708 060 1816 or send an email. Apart from the monetary reward of $10,000, another component of the Make a Difference program has to do with ensuring that the public gets proper information on the dangers of fake or falsified medicines and how to keep away from them. From the American Embassy in Abuja, this is Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
Malaria remains a major public health problem, accounting for high mortality and morbidity in Nigeria. A town hall meeting was organized by the National Malaria Elimination Program to sensitize pregnant women, parents and children on how to prevent and manage the disease. Correspondent Chinwe Ogochukwu reports that the town hall meeting is part of events to mark the World 2015 Malaria Day.
The bushes are being cleared.
That was display on how to defeat malaria with action as the logo for World Malaria Day indicates this year. For your action to count, the National Coordinator, National Elimination Program in Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. Nena Ezigwe says everyone should unite to keep the environment clean. She spoke on the choice of the venue.
Jukwo is a community that houses a lot of people. The catchment is a big catchment area.
What we should do as a community is that we should clean up our environments, clean up the gutters, unblock every gutter that is blocked.
Responding to that, the Chief of Jukwo, His Royal Highness Pawajeta, reassured the stakeholders that the community will strive hard to abide in the rules of clean environment.
We want to help fight this disease called malaria. It's not a respecter of any man. It's to keep our environment clean, keep ourselves clean, make sure we drink good water.
The AMAC as a community has done so much intervening alongside the interventions that we have from the national and our partners.
The women expressed their appreciation and promised to make use of the information to eradicate the spread of mosquito bites. The climax of the event was distribution of treated mosquito nets by the coordinator and chief of Jukwo. In Abuja, Chinwe Ogochukwu, NTA News.
Now, the need for Muslims to live up to their religious expectations by ensuring personal and environmental hygiene to prevent disease has been stressed. Imam of Legislative Quarters Juma Mosque, Apo Abuja, Ustaz Nuru Muhammad Khalid, who enjoined Muslims to imbibe the attitude, stated this in his sermon at today's Jumat prayers. Abdullahi Musa Suleja completes the story.
Speaking on the scourge of malaria and its impact on people, Imam Khalid said dirty environment breeds mosquito, the vector that transmits malaria. He said Islam frowns at dirtiness and therefore admonishes Muslims to seek treatment whenever sickness occurs by hospital.
A Muslim is supposed to be very clean, very neat, very tidy, because he is said to worship Allah 5 times daily, and he cannot worship Allah without ablution. Why are we performing that ablution? It's to learn how to be clean. Most of the diseases that are affecting Africans are controllable. We can control them, we can eliminate them with the assistance of the government. But the government cannot do without us.
He also enjoined all and sundry to pray for Allah to guide the nation's leaders aright. In Abuja, Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
For more reports, we'll now link up with Vera in our Lagos Network Center. And Vera, if you would, update us on the election petition and the state of power supply in Lagos.
Thank you, Rhoda. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. The Election Petition Tribunal in Lagos has so far received 17 petitions from aggrieved parties arising from the 2015 general elections. John Batima reports.
Secretary of the Tribunal told NTA that 2 of the petitions are for Senate, while the remaining 15 are for the House of Representatives. It is not clear which parties filed in the petitions. For now, no petitions have been turned in for the State House of Assembly election. The 1999 Constitution provides that election petitions shall be filed within 21 days after the declaration of result of elections. Under the provisions of the Constitution, the Tribunal shall deliver judgment in writing within 180 days from the date of filing the petition. In Lagos, John Batiman, NTA News.
Nigerians have called on the government to put necessary measures in place to ensure that electricity supply is fully restored in the country. Annie Daniels reports that this call was made by some Lagos residents who are daily counting their losses as a result of the epileptic power supply.
Mr. Nariwaju Lukman is a welder and says he has lost several customers due to power failure in his area. He, like other artisans, declared the attitude of power holding company that disclosed that they powered their generating sets virtually every day to remain in business.
They don't give us light for more than 48 to 72 hours in a month.
I think when they want to bring the bill, they'll just give us at that period and we are like, okay, we are happy. Probably they are giving us to make us happy to pay.
So whether you use or not, you must pay. They must give you crazy bill.
So probably I want to iron my clothes, I do all that. I want to pump the water, I do all that before they take it off.
It affects me in my school. How? If I want to use computer too, there wouldn't be light. So I have to wait, and if they don't bring light, I will miss it.
This trend, they say, has translated to increase in prices of their goods and services.
It's the consumer that suffers it, don't it?
You know, you go add those fuel where you buy for the price, so the price will now go high.
This is Akarele Street here in Surulere, Lagos State. I have to beg the shops around me to please put off their generating sets to enable me conduct my interview because of this noise coming from those generating sets. All these respondents say they need is constant power supply to keep them in business. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Securities and Exchange Commission set to cut costs associated with transactions on the capital market as the organized private sector urged policymakers to review the implementation of the power sector policies. Details with Abdullahi Mohammed on Business News segment.
Good evening. This is Business News and my name is Abdullahi Mohammed. The Securities and Exchange Commission has rolled out measures aimed at reducing the cost of transactions on the capital market. This was disclosed by the Acting Director General of the Commission, Munir Gorzo, after the first quarterly meeting of the Capital Market Committee in Lagos. The Acting Director General said the committee is also taking concrete measures to ensure that proceeds from transactions are credited directly to the investor's account rather than that of the stockbroker's account, which is the norm now. Apart from the committee's resolve to revive the commodity market as well as the corporate bond market, the acting director general stated that the committee is also set to put in place the platform that will allow conversion of physical investment certificates to electronic certificates.
Another very important milestone is the Capital Market Master Plan. You will recall we launched it last year in November. Now, we feel we need to jumpstart the Capital Market Master Plan. And what we've done was to cascade it into different quarters. So what are some of the low-hanging fruits that we can do in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 9 months? So we presented to the House, and the House was very happy, very excited that we were looking at things that are easily, that can easily be done.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, during its quarterly review of the Nigerian economy, noted that the country's economic growth has slowed down, while external reserves have also depleted. NASIMA therefore urged policymakers to review the process of policy implementation, especially in critical sectors of the economy like power.
The country still grapples with unstable power output, which hovers between 2,700 megawatts and 3,500 megawatts, despite huge investment by government. There is need for the incoming administration to recognize the importance of power to the survival of the industries in this country.
That's business news tonight. Thanks for being part of it. The news continues shortly.
Some things wey you get to fit finish, but no be credit o.
Hello? Your credit don't reach to finish this call. Abeg, recharge your phone. My own don finish.
Just dial *321# for Glo Borrow Me Credit make you collect credit wey you fit pay for later. Glo Borrow Me Credit don get auto recharge option where you fit choose auto recharge wey go land you credit sharp when your credit don dey finish. Just dial *321# for Glo Borrow Me Credit or auto recharge make you dey yarn dey go.
Carry the whole tank of water dey come, abeg, no time. I dey wait for you sharp. The lover come, you do well. You borrow me credit, well.
Hello, I'm Frank, and this is our Kemu story.
We sold all of our old baby stuff on the internet with Kemu.com.
It took just 5 minutes to get started, and it's free for customers like me.
Buyers come from all around the neighborhood.
We got rid of everything, and with the profits, I can get all the new stuff.
Already ahead of you. I've just been shopping.
Start your business today. It's that easy. Kemu.com.
I'm Aliko Dangote, Nigeria's malaria ambassador. I'm concerned that malaria is still a great problem to all. 30% of death among children less than 5 years is due to malaria, and 11 out of 100 pregnant women die of the malaria disease. Government cannot do it alone.
I am Dr. Nena Ezigwe, the National Coordinator, National Malaria Elimination Program. As we commemorate the World Malaria Day, I urge every individual, groups, conglomerates, and communities to join the fight against malaria. We need to safeguard our future and that of our children yet to be born. Your action counts.
I invite all stakeholders to join me as we continue to advocate for increased awareness and commitment to eliminate malaria in Nigeria. Your action counts.
Happy hour
burst of refreshment. Available in peach, tropical fruit, apple peach pear, kiwi mint lime, and guava. Chi Happy Hour, burst of refreshment.
House of Chi.
Change is the only constant. Anything defined can be refined. Welcome to the new look of FCMB, the new look of opportunity. FCMB, my bank and I.
I need a great deal, the best price I can get. That's why I shop on Jumia.
Quality you can trust. You can count on us.
Nationwide delivery.
We make shopping easier. National delivery. When you shop on Jumia, when the rain or shine.
Get authentic Apple products with 1-year warranty from authorized reseller Jumia.com.ng.
Jumia, the online shop you can trust. Everyone says my son disturbs the compound with his drumming.
Whenever Princess starts, the neighbors do complain that her voice and the beats are too loud.
How else do you expect tomorrow's star drummer to behave?
Who is scared of the voices of tomorrow's superstars?
You are special in your way.
It's me, like no other.
No one else can do it like you.
It's me, like no other.
I play the drum.
Yeah.
I can sing.
Like no other.
I can dance.
Like no other.
I'm talented.
Like no other.
I can draw.
Like no other.
I can be myself.
Like no other.
With Indomie. That must be a neighbor.
Why this noise? What's all this?
You are special in your way.
It's Indomie.
No one else can do it like you.
It's me, like no other.
Here's to all amazing moms who identify and nurture the uniqueness in our kids. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Thanks for being there. You're still watching the network news on NTA. 31 Army senior officers, including 17 Major Generals and 14 Brigadier Generals, have been formally disengaged from the Nigerian Army at their pulling out parade held in the Army Headquarters, Garrison Mogadishu Cantonment in Abuja. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Kenneth Minima said the Army must sustain the current momentum in the fight against insecurity, especially the ongoing war against insurgency in parts of the country. The Chief of Army Staff, who was represented by Major General Ugo Buzugbe, urged retired officers to contribute towards protecting the territorial integrity of Nigeria.
Not to say, as long as we have conflicts that will demand the military to be involved, some of us will pay the supreme price. But that is all. That is what the essence of serving in the military and serving the nation.
Speaking on behalf of retiring officers, Major General Emmanuel Bassi urged both serving and retired officers not to compromise professionalism.
It's invaluable for our professional conduct and efficiency. They go beyond our service years in the military and well into life after service. For you still in service, I advise you to take to heart every little bit of these experiences, as they will one day come in very useful.
Now, on the xenophobia attacks in South Africa, the Nigerian community in South Africa has been assured of the safety of their lives and property, as the federal government says the xenophobia attacks in that country has been brought under control. This assurance was given at a joint press briefing by the Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs at the South African Embassy. Fatima Ali reports.
Press briefing is part of a series of steps taken to find a lasting and peaceful solution to the unfortunate incident since it broke early April. It is also to further demonstrate the resolve of the two countries to maintain their age-long cordial relationship.
We have also, through our principal representatives in Pretoria and Joburg, ensured that we have remained engaged, fully engaged with the South African government for the protection of our nationals.
What we want is to see South Africans, Nigerians, and other African partners as one people. That is what we are doing. We are also talking to our African countries to share experiences as to how they manage not to have this scourge affecting them.
The South African High Commissioner also said consultations were on in South Africa with traditional and religious leaders to sensitize the people on the need to be their brother's keeper. The army, on the other hand, is currently complementing the efforts of the police to maintain peace and order. In Abuja, Fatima Ali, NTA News.
You want to know how to curb child kidnapping? Let's now join Mosu Salubi in Ibadan for that. Mosu, tell us about it.
Thank you, Rhoda. Good evening and welcome to Ibadan. The increasing cases of abduction of children by mates have become a source of concern to the society. This has created mixed feelings among parents and guardians in hiring domestic helps to cater for their children and wards. Correspondent Femi Afolabi reports on how to curb the trend.
The recent report of kidnapping of children are just some of the many cases of criminal activities being carried out by domestic staff, popularly referred to as maids or house help. Many other atrocities committed by these maids include physical, emotional, and sexual abuse of the children in their care and the general neglect of such children. And because of this, many do not see a need in employing maids to take care of their children. Some parents express their views.
Our experience of the way house girls take care of small children was bitter in the past. So now, even now that they are on holidays, we put them in crèche.
So there's nothing bad about having a maid. It's only that if you don't know the source of where the maid is coming, if anything happens, you will not be able to hold that person responsible.
The rather busy working-class parents were advised to take extra precautionary measures when hiring domestic helps. The Oyo State Police Command spokesperson, Mr. Ade Adishebutu, recommended that parents and guardians should be security conscious in order to ensure the safety of their kids.
Professional advice of the police could, in this case, help take the fingerprint of such would-be domestic staff. They could help get the photograph, and of course, they could help get the trace the address and every other details that they need to know about the domestic staff.
Social experts advise parents to endeavor to keep their children in safe hands. In Ibadan, Femi Afolabi, NTA News.
That's it from Ibadan. Network News continues with Rhoda in Abuja. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Mosun. National Sports Commission gets new helmsman. This plus some global tidbits after the break. Stay with us.
Okay, here is the option you're looking for.
I want more. How hard can it be to get more? Give me more. What's wrong with these guys? Simple thing, more. Just give it to me.
Don't settle for less when you can get more out of life. Now get 200% more whenever you recharge on Glow. That's right, 200% guaranteed bonus on recharge. To call or text any network anytime. Still want more? How about 15 megabytes free data on recharge? 1 minute free for 3 minutes of calling. Plus additional free airtime of 200 naira to call 10 family and friends.
Now that's more.
The grass is definitely 200% greener with Glow. Dial star 200 hash to get your 200% bonus now.
Glow Unlimited.
So, how far now? Not to do so. Na promo. You step on become millionaire.
You never hear say NAFDAC don't bring wetin they call mobile authentication service. We go help us know whether medicine na fake or not. before we pay. Now, come see. As I scratch this thing, will be like recharge card. So, come send the pin to 38353 free of charge. I will call receive text message to confirm. Okay, original. Choy. Just like that, we confirm whether medicine now fake or not instant. Now when you say no wise up, make you help not and spread the story. Now the way that. Madam, come and take my money.
Now, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, they bring on this message. Oh.
On Global Tidbits tonight, hope rises over child malaria vaccine test and Armenia remembers genocide victims. Let's join Talatu Ezerike for details of this.
Final clinical trials of a malaria vaccine, the first of its kind, suggest that it could help protect millions of children against malaria, a development applauded by experts. Similarly, Nigeria has begun a mass vaccination campaign as it struggles to control a meningitis outbreak that has killed 129 people. In Kenya, suspected Al-Shabaab militants have abducted and killed a traditional chief in the northern part of the country. Elsewhere in Italy, the man accused of captaining the boat that capsized off Libya with the loss of more than 750 lives has appeared in court to face charges of homicide and people trafficking. From Armenia, ceremonies are being held to mark the centenary memorial mass killings of Armenians. And the United Kingdom authorities are advised to tackle anti-foreigners abuse in the British press after a Sunday column referred to migrants as cockroaches. That is all on Global Tidbits. Talat Izarike, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has approved the appointment of Mr. Al-Hassan Yakmout as the Acting Director General of the National Sports Commission. Mr. Yakmout replaces Benga Elegbeleye. Statement by the SA media to the Minister of Sports, Patrick Omorodion, says the appointment of Mr. Al-Hassan Yakmout would address the issues of keeping to the tradition of having a seasoned professional and sports technocrat. Until his appointment, the new Acting Director General was the Director of the Federations of Elite Athletics Departments in the Commission. And now more on Sports Update.
A total of 16 male and female beach volleyballers are currently partaking in a training camp in Abuja in preparation for the 8 nation qualification series for the 2015